Great question about blood sugar. Hey, how's it going? Chris from My Core Balance, and received a really great question from a client about blood sugar. Why is it important to keep your blood sugar steady? So I want to introduce you to a concept if you're not familiar with it. It's called insulin resistance versus insulin sensitivity. So insulin resistance basically means that your body is kind of takes insulin for granted in a way. I'm using layman's terms, but that's kind of how I roll with this. There's plenty of technical things. If you want to know technically exactly what happens, just look it up online, because I'm more of like the layman's term with what this is. But basically, insulin resistance is your body can constantly create and disperse and more and more insulin to try to counter the high blood sugar, and to no avail. It's not working. So your body is resistant to the effect of insulin. Insulin sensitivity is where we want to get to, meaning that when we consume carbohydrates, our body is sensitive and is able to allot the correct amount of insulin to counter that sugar intake. Again, if you want really technical, look it up. But that's big picture. I mean, practical, what does this mean? You're not using carbs properly if you are insulin resistant. So why is this important, though? This is huge. So a friend of mine who's a medical doctor told it to me like this. He says it's like curves throughout the day, or like a wave throughout the day. So whatever you put in your body first thing in the morning will dictate how steep that curve is or how big the wave is. For example, if you eat a breakfast consisting of 3 donuts, and I mean obviously full of sugar, right? Your body will have a response to that, and your blood sugar levels will go through the roof, and then your body will do everything it can to try to get them back down. Usually the body overreacts, and you end up plummeting. Your blood sugar plummets later on. So just as fast as it spikes in the morning, it will plummet later on in the day, and then you're going to have to find something else to spike it back up. So you have this very steep up and down waves that are happening. Compare that to somebody who eats, let's say, an omelet with, obviously eggs and maybe avocado and some kale, spinach, very low carb, definitely no fast carbs, so it's more slow carbs, if any, and definitely a lot more fiber in this meal, so it's going to slow the rise of blood sugar. Now, this still will raise your blood sugar a little bit, definitely not looking like the donut. It's not going to spike you, it's just going to raise you a little bit, and so based on that little raise, your body will adapt to it and will produce insulin, and we'll try to lower it back down in an acceptable range, and you'll just be riding this gentle wave all day long. Energy levels will be pretty constant, and there's going to be highs and lows in blood sugar, but it's not going to be as extreme as the other one, and for all practical purposes, your blood sugar is basically the same all day long. And that's, in a nutshell, what happens. Blood sugar is directly related to energy, and your body's ability to metabolize that sugar and how it reacts to the sugar in your bloodstream is vital. And then, our friends in the ketogenic movement would take it even the next step, saying that, you don't even want to use sugar as a fuel. And I'm 50-50 on that. Not quite sure. I've tried ketogenic before, but if you are having blood sugar issues, I would recommend at least researching ketogenic diets and what they are and who they're good for and things like that, because they allow your body to run on fat as the primary fuel as opposed to carbohydrates and sugar. So yeah, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not going to give you the super technical. I am a trainer, though, and I think I have a pretty good handle on the practical aspects of nutrition and how what you put in your body actually affects your day-to-day life. That's the important thing. Obviously, there are people out there who could tell you the chemical makeup of everything, and that's super awesome. Great. And if you have a question, message me on the Anchor app, or you can email me, Chris at My Core Balance, or you can text me, 408-883-4442. If you do message me on the Anchor app, I will put your question on the air, the audio question, and then I'll answer the question after. All right, thanks. Peace.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.